The Man in the Window. One cold winter evening, a certain 16-year-old girl was home alone watching television. Her parents were away on holiday at a friend's house. It had been snowing thickly all day, but the girl felt nice and cozy, sitting on the couch in the living room, wrapped up in a warm wool blanket. By midnight, her parents had not yet returned, and she began to feel anxious. She didn't want to call them, lest they think she couldn't take care of herself. The TV was in the corner of the room next to the big window. She was watching another movie when suddenly, out of the corner of her eye, she noticed something moving in the window. In the darkness, among the falling snow, she could make out the figure of a man walking toward her. As he approached, she could make out his face. It was covered with scars and his lips were stretched out in a sinister smile. Frightened, the girl froze, not daring to move. The man stood there, staring at her silently through the glass. Then he suddenly put his hand into his coat pocket and pulled something out. It was a knife. Unable to stand it, the girl grabbed the phone from the table by the sofa, dialed the number of the police and held her breath waiting for an answer. "There's a man standing outside my window," she whispered, keeping her eyes on the creepy visitor. "He has a knife. Please come quickly. My address." She sat motionless. The minutes passed one by one. The man behind the window still stood staring straight at her. Finally, she heard a siren outside, and the police began knocking on the door. The girl rushed to the front door, letting the police officers in. They told her they hadn't seen anyone near the house and found no sign of anyone. "It can't be," the girl said, pointing to the window. "He was just standing there when you knocked. You couldn't have missed him." "That's impossible," said the officer. "No one was there, and the snow was untouched. In this snow, even if someone had been there recently, he would have left distinct footprints." "But I saw him with my own eyes," insisted the girl. "You know, your eyes can play a cruel trick on you," grinned the officer. "Maybe you watch too many movies?" The policemen were about to leave when suddenly one of the officers noticed something amiss. He frowned and walked around the couch where the girl was sitting. There were wet footprints on the carpet behind the couch and a dropped knife. "You didn't see the man outside the window," the officer said. "You were looking at his reflection. The whole time he was standing 2 steps behind you." I know you're awake. It's 5:35 in the morning, but I've been awake for a long time. I'm lying, just lying on the bed. My parents are here too, looking at me. And all I can do is look away, trying my best not to scream in horror. The smell of blood is strong. Freshly spilled blood. God damn it, I'm scared. I'm so scared. God. There's something. And as soon as I let it know I'm awake, I'm going to die. I'll be dead, and no one will come to help me. I was already thinking about how to save myself. The only way out was to run as hard as I could into the street. Screaming, calling for help. Hope that at least someone would hear me, the neighbors, anyone. The chances are slim, but if I stay here, I'll surely die. It's waiting for me to wake up. Waiting for me to see its masterpiece. But I have to start from the beginning. About 3 hours ago, I woke up to screams. Screaming at home. Here. I got up and went to check what had happened. I realize now that it could have killed me at any moment. But it didn't. The carpet in the hallway was covered in blood. I turned around and ran to my room, shaking with terror, and hid under the covers. I tried to fall asleep again, assuring myself that it was all just a dream, just a terrible dream. Then I heard the door of my room open. I furtively peeked out from under the covers, feeling like a scared-to-death 5-year-old boy. I saw something dragging my parents' bodies into the room. And it wasn't human, it wasn't. Something naked and eyeless and hairless, with the gait of a caveman, slouching under the weight of my mother and father. Except that this something was smarter than any caveman. And it knew what it was doing. It sat my father on the floor, leaning against the bed, and turned his head to face me. It sat my mother in a chair, just like my father, facing me. Then it began to rub its palms against the wall, drawing a pentagram in a circle with its blood. The creature had gone to great lengths to draw this masterpiece. At the end, it had written something on the wall, some writing, but it was too dark for me to read it. And now this thing is sitting under my bed, waiting. I'm scared. My eyes are used to the darkness. I can read what it says now, but I don't want to, because even just thinking about it is a real nightmare. But I feel like I have to see it. I have to see it. Before I die. And I look. I know you're awake. Video camera. A young man named Brian was attending university. He was renting a small apartment for himself in the city. After Brian lived there for a while, he began to notice strange things happening in the apartment. Often when he returned from college, the curtains in the bedroom would be drawn, even though he remembered exactly leaving them open when he left in the morning. In addition, some things in the apartment were out of place, and some were missing altogether. These oddities began to frighten Brian. He decided to discuss it with his friends, Trisha and Alex. They met him at the local diner, and over a cup of coffee he told them about all the strange things going on in his house. "Maybe I'm just paranoid," Brian said. "But I have a strong suspicion that someone is breaking into my apartment when I leave for university, and..." "So," Alex interrupted him, "drawing the curtains? Moving your stuff around? Who in their right mind would do that?" "Maybe someone's trying to scare you," said Trisha. "I think the best thing to do is to go to the police." "What can the police do?" Alex said. "They won't take their time to put your apartment under surveillance. There's no damage to your things. There are no signs of forced entry. Nothing of special value is missing. In short, there's no evidence." "So what am I supposed to do?" Brian pleaded. "I can't just do nothing." "I have an idea," said Trisha. "It's simple. Get a video camera, set it up in your bedroom, and put it on tape when you leave for college. If someone is really trying to intimidate you, you'll show the tape to the police as proof." "You know, that's a great idea," Brian exclaimed. "And if you're really paranoid and crazy, you can show that tape to a psychiatrist," Alex joked. That night, Brian borrowed the video camera from Trisha and brought it home. The next morning, he hid the camera under some folders on his desk. Before he left for college, he pressed the record button. While he sat in lectures, he didn't even think about the video camera. It wasn't until he got home that he remembered his plan and went to the bedroom. Pulling out the camera, he stopped the recording and called Trisha on his cell phone. "Hey Trisha," he said cheerfully. "I just got home. I'm going to watch the video." "Great," Trisha answered. "Don't hang up. Tell me what you see." Brian pressed the play button and stared at the little video camera screen. He saw himself as he was getting ready to go to the university in the morning, going out and closing the bedroom doors. He pressed the speed button, scrolling through the video. Nothing was happening in the room. "Nothing is happening," he said. "I can wait," Trisha replied. "There's nothing to do now anyway, and anyway." "Oh!" Brian exclaimed. "What?" said Trisha excitedly. "The door's opening," Brian said. "Some woman comes in. What's she doing?" "Just standing. Closing the door. Walking." "That's weird. What does she look like?" "I can't see her face." "She has long, curly hair. She's wearing a wrinkled dress." "Do you recognize her?" "No, I don't recognize her at all." "She has a knife in her hand, a big kitchen knife. She's going through my garbage. Now she's picking up my clothes and sniffing at them. Ugh! It's disgusting." She's clearly not in her right head. She goes to the closet and climbs into the closet. What a lunatic. Do you know what that means? Now I have proof. I can go to the police with this, and they'll take me seriously. I understand, Trisha said. They'll have to. Alex will go crazy when he sees it. There's no doubt about it. He didn't believe you, but I did. Yeah. You're a good friend. Wait a minute. What? What? The door opens. Does it come out of the closet? No, I mean the room door. It's okay. I'm back from college. Wait a minute, does that mean? A chill ran down Brian's spine. He heard the closet door creak open behind him. Brian? Trisha called out to him. The connection was cut off. When she called Brian again, no one answered the phone. The police found Brian's body lying in a pool of his own blood. He had been stabbed 21 times. He was holding a video camera. The tape had already been removed. The woman Brian was talking about was never found.